Today's live stream. This is Simudan. So, for those of you watching on YouTube after the event, welcome. And for those of you watching live right now, welcome to you as well. If you are watching on YouTube, however, then this goes live every Tuesday afternoon at 1 o'clock UK time. Right, so I'm going to get cracking now. It is now 1 o'clock, so let's get going. So currently I'm meant to arrive in Brest, which is there on the map, at 6:55 in-game time on Thursday. It is currently 11:50 on Thursday. Not going to happen. Doesn't matter too much. I get a full week, so I need to be arriving at Istanbul on Wednesday at 6:55. But I have come across a problem. I'm alright at the minute. Nothing. The game time won't move because I'm here in this screen. But I have come across a problem in which I'm currently in Southampton, and preferably I want to be moving to Plymouth, coming across to Roscoff, and then into Brest, and then I've completed this leg of the journey. Job's a good one. However, looking at my job list, and I have to take a job. That's one of my rules for this to work. There's nothing on this screen. I've got one to Cardiff, but that's taking me well out the way. London, I can go to Calais. So I could potentially at least get into France, but then I'd have to be travelling on these roads all the way around. And quite frankly, that's going to put me days and days behind. Now, some of these, though, expire. 16 minutes, 9 minutes, that's in-game time, of course. 55 minutes, I mean, 55 minutes is far too long. But what I am planning on doing is if I unpause this, and I just drive, we will wait for about 5 in-game minutes in Southampton. And then we'll have another look, because what I'm hoping is that 5-minute job will be replaced, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it will be replaced with exactly the job I need. So while I wait, I'll go over the rules. This is my truck. This is going to be the same truck that I drive all the way from Aberdeen, which is where I started, to Istanbul. And that is the primary rule. This truck has to make the whole journey. 2 minutes, 2 hours, okay. However, also, if I receive any fines on the way, then that goes against me, that counts against me. And I then have to deduct an hour off my time for every 100 euros I spend on fines. Tolls and ferry crossings, they don't count. It's just fines that are going to cause me time penalties. The other thing I've got to worry about is the fact that I do have to have cargo every single time I leave a city. So that's without question, every time I must leave with cargo. And when I get to Brest, I will have to rest there. No compromises on that. I must rest when I get to a checkpoint. And the checkpoints, the first of which is Brest. I'm then going to go into Italy. Let's see if we'll go on here. And so Brest, I'm then going to have to get to Florence. That will be my next checkpoint. And then after that, there'll be another checkpoint further upward. Now, let's see if this is updated at all. I think so. Oh no, it doesn't work like that. We'll do it that way. Dover, Calais, Cardiff. Oh, 4 minutes for that one. Nope. I'm going to have to go to Calais and around. Right. We better get going then. It was raining in my last leg, hence the indicators. So, obviously if I don't rest when I have to, not just at checkpoints, but when the game requires me to rest, that implements a fine on me. Which is going to make this incredibly difficult now, because I don't believe I'm going to get all the way to Calais in the time that it says I need to in order to rest. So I'm going to have to rest on the way, which is another 6 hours out of my time. Oh, that was a loan instalment. That's fine. We can live with a loan instalment. It's not a fine. I thought for some reason maybe I'd hit something and hadn't noticed. Come on, there we go. Right. That one, because it's lighter. So one of my other rules is every time I drop off cargo, I must actually do the hardest difficulty parking. Which, obviously, the easiest thing would be just to say, right, I'm here, park it for me. But no, I am not doing that. That would essentially end this task altogether for me. There's no penalty for that, that's just cheating outright. Of course, they are my own rules, and I get that. Really, I don't have to stick to any of these rules, it's all on me, but that's what it is. So, now that we're on our way, let's chat about the YouTube channel. So if you are watching on Twitch, the YouTube channel is listed on my Twitch profile. Go and check that out. Click the link and check it out. I had recently taken a bit of a lull with my videos in that I've started studying for a law degree, so my videos have been a little bit slower to come. That I'm hoping will change now that I've sort of got into the swing of studying again, and I'm hoping to get a little bit of time aside for that. I'm actually studying with the Open University, so it's all self-guided, and I have to kind of make sure I'm doing it myself in the right times. So yeah, but the good news is I have plenty of content coming up. Every time I have a video idea, I write it down, and that list is ever growing. It's growing quicker than I can put out videos. So the good news is I'm not going to be struggling for content anytime soon. So for those of you watching this because you're interested in Euro Truck, I have a video planned soon, which will be to do a reversing tutorial. So how do you reverse one of these things with a trailer attached to the back without completely mucking it up and crashing it? or jackknifing it. So that's one of them that's coming up. There's a few viewer suggestions as well. Most of those on Flight Simulator, so there's a few Flight Simulator videos coming your way. The latest of which was actually landing at a model aircraft airfield in Hastings, which will be interesting. I don't know whether it's even doable. The amount of distance that I'll have in terms of a runway, it's obviously going to be very, very limited. So we'll wait and see. We'll see how that goes when I do that. I also have Train Simulator content coming out. Train Simulator World, more specifically. I've got a few different videos planned there. I've got a video planned for the Tees Valley line. Also got a video planned when it comes out for the Island line, which I'm really excited about. That should be a really nice, it looks like it's going to be a really nice bit of DLC. A nice little route to drive, so I'm quite excited about that. Yeah, they're the main things really. There's also other things. I intend to put a bit more bus simulator content out. Might even experiment a little bit with Fernbus and OMSI. And of course, as always, if you have any suggestions on simulators I should try that I'm not currently putting out content for, or if you even have any suggestions for just videos or for future live stream series, then let me know. I'm happy to take on any suggestions. I don't do this just for the fun of it, although it is a hobby for me. I don't do this for any other reason other than I want to, but my aim is never to just put out videos just to please myself. My aim is to hopefully inform you in some small way about our hobby, about the simulation hobby, as well as getting some community going. For me, really, I want this to be not about me, but us as a community, which predominantly focuses in on you as viewers. My content really needs to reflect what you want and what you're after, which is why I'm so desperate just to get suggestions from you. Here we go. Oh, my driver's yawning his head off again, so I need to be looking at stopping sometime soon. So as I say, if you have any suggestions for future content, whether that's Euro Truck, whether that's any other simulator at all, then put a either tell me in the chat or put a comment down in the comment box once this is finished, or follow the link below, which will be on the video. It's not on online, it's not on the live stream, but follow the link to my Discord channel or Discord server even, and there's a suggestions box in there, so you can go into that channel and give us some suggestions. I'm really happy actually that they have modelled that tunnel. That is the Southwick tunnel near Brighton, and yeah, it's really nice it's in there. It's a shame really that nothing else is modelled. Like a little bit further along here you should really see like the Amex Stadium and things like that, which just don't exist. But yeah, it's nice having at least something that's recognisable in here. It would have been nice to actually have Brighton as a city that you can enter and drop cargo off at and pick stuff up at. But unfortunately not the case, and perhaps it would have just filled up too much of that hole. Would have cause cities to be too close together, perhaps. I really do need to rest desperately. If I don't, I am going to get a fine. And that's going to put me even further behind, and I'm already looking to be at least a day behind as it is. If not more. Now I think that cliff up there is supposed to be Beachy Head. Now from the road, from the main road, you're never going to see it, at least not like that. But it looks like they've got the old lighthouse on the top there. So at least you know roughly what they're thinking this area is. So this would be sort of passing just short of Eastbourne. Come on, rest up. I need to find somewhere to rest. Far too far away. Now the ETA I always find a bit interesting because it's not really that accurate. The ETA at the moment gives me just short of 2 hours to my destination. However, when you take in the fact that I've got to use a ferry, that's going to be a heck of a lot longer. Aha! Somewhere to rest. Not even going to make day 2, I don't think. What am I doing for fuel? I'm still okay for fuel. I'm not going to waste my time now fueling up. Ah, it's wanting me to take the Euro tunnel. Should be a bit quicker. We can go with that. Although I do actually like the way Dover is modelled on this game. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it is one of the better modelled areas. I think just the ferry port and places like that. That was close. Let's get on the train. At least I'm finally leaving Britain. $35 travel. We get out nice and tight. There we go. (1 AM). So I've got to pretty much get through the whole of France in 5 hours. I don't think that's going to happen. And that puts me a day behind. I'm drastically behind now. I'm going to have to make up some serious time in order to make my target of getting to Istanbul within a week. I know that my checkpoints are like miles out of the way, but that's kind of the idea. I want to take in as much of the map as possible and do it within a week. I looked it up. No, lights were on, fine. I looked it up online before I started, and if you were to drive flat out from Aberdeen to Istanbul in real life, and let's face it, this is supposed to be scaled so that time passes by in roughly the same sort of dynamic. If I were to do it in real life, it should have taken me 2 days, or just over 2 days. So, I don't know, maybe I was being a bit optimistic going for a week. Maybe I should have said a little bit longer, but I didn't think a week was too far-fetched. Now I'm starting to think it's drastically far-fetched. And maybe I need to think about expanding that time. If I don't make it in a week, then I'll be looking at setting myself a new goal. But it's still a race across against the clock, and I'm still going for my original goal. So for first place, let's call it first place, I need to be aiming... Oh, hang on. Let's change that. This is annoying. Yeah, for first place, I really need to be aiming for doing it within a week. And of course, that's with a couple of time penalties already already put on top of that. There we go. That's a little bit better. So I have taken about £200 worth of fines, and that's what's led me to go. It's got to be 6.55. I've already taken the time penalties off for that. Oh, it's 80, not 90. Oh, fair enough. Ooh, if I remember right, actually, France has an 80km/h limit, whereas the rest of Europe seems to have 90km/h, which will be interesting. Because I've got to get through France pretty quick now. I do have to make that checkpoint. I can't move the goalpost now. That would be cheating. I'm not moving goalposts. So I have to make sure that I get to Brest. And hopefully I can do that within this live stream. The overall goal is to always make these live streams an hour long. The first one was an hour and a half, split into 2 parts, owing to a technical fault. In fact, a pretty big chunk of that was taken out in the end. As a result of the technical fault, I hadn't realised the live stream had gone down. But I've learned from my mistakes, I've rectified the issue. The issue was actually that I had a hotkey for my recording software assigned to F8. So when I changed to the F8 tab on the heads-up display at the bottom, I ended up with the game recorder going, we'll pause that video then. Which wasn't too handy, so I've now moved that hotkey away to a button that doesn't get used for anything. And quite frankly, I never use that hotkey anyway. I always hit either record or stop and never pause. Turns out when you pause a live stream, it mucks around with YouTube significantly. Wasn't so bad for Twitch, but for YouTube it just couldn't handle it. So, the game updated recently, is that saying I can go? Hope so. I have no idea what that's supposed to mean, but it's staying on that for a heck of a long time. So yeah, the game updated since the last live stream, and I was a little bit worried that I might be in a city or an area that had its map changed by it, because when that happens, it causes all sorts of difficulties, in which it will revert your truck back to your nearest depot, which is right back at the start line. So, you know what, I'm in a completely wrong place for that. Let's go over here. Put me head out as well. Let's bring it round. Try not to clip the ramp. There we go. Right, so another one of my rules has actually been that I can't take any points. In fact, we'll see it now. I think. Yeah, I cannot take any points in long distance, but I can take points anywhere else. Just in time, fragile cargo. I'm currently doing these because it should open up a few more. Fragile cargo does the same, but just working my way through everything to try and get as much open as possible. Right, job market. So let's open up the Calais list. Felixstowe, nope. That takes me back. Southampton, nope. Cambridge, London, no. You are joking. So currently I can go back into the UK. Okay. Just double check. Felixstowe. Expires in 2 hours. Expires in 2 minutes, so that might get changed, but I doubt it. $39, yeah. You can go as far as Cambridge. See, even if I were to go to, say, somewhere, I mean, Lille would be a little bit out of the way. But, yeah, Paris, maybe, that would be a nice one, or Palais? Is that how that's said? I don't know. The Havre? Okay. Well, let's back out of this. Back out altogether. Let's have a little drive around. Let time go by. Let's say wait it out till... I don't know. I'm going to go in here and I'll see how much it will cost to buy this place, because that would solve the issue. 180 euros. I don't think I can even get a bank loan. Oh, I might get a bank loan for that. That would at least solve one of the problems of if the game updates again. Get another 100. That cover it? 100. How much did I say it was? 180. No, I need the 400 loan. You know what? I'm going to leave it and chance it. Let's have a little drive around the city limits in a minute. I do not want to end up back in Britain. That's the last thing I want to do. But until something opens up, I'm stuck here. Or I have to go back. And what will end up happening is I just go backwards and forwards all the livelong day, which I don't want to be doing. Let's wait till 1:30. Reopen the job search and see if I can actually find a job that takes me elsewhere in France, because going back to Britain is not ideal at all. But then neither is being stuck in Calais. So I guess now will be a good time to go over what's happening. So if you have just joined us, welcome. I'm currently doing a race across Europe, going from Aberdeen all the way to Istanbul, taking in various checkpoints on the way. The first of which is Brest, and yes, it has taken me, well, it looks like it might even take me more than 3 episodes to achieve just that first checkpoint. Now, one of my rules is I must always leave a city with cargo. Unfortunately, I've got myself as far as Calais, heading for Brest, which is the other end of France, so it's already not ideal. This was the best option I could take, leaving Southampton. Would have been better to go the other way and get a ferry from Plymouth. But I've got myself as far as Calais, and now there is no cargo other than that will take me back into the UK, which is not something I'm willing to concede to. So I'm just driving around Calais for now, wasting fuel, which is probably not the best idea, but hoping that the freight market might update itself somewhat. Felixstowe, Felixstowe, Great Britain, Great Britain, Great Britain, Great Britain, Great Britain. Ah! The only thing I can think of doing, and it means taking a 6-hour penalty, is I could get a complete refresh by taking a 6-hour break here. Some of these are almost 3 hours. You know what? For the interest of the stream, I think it is going to be a stay here. There's a rest point over there. Let's go park up, have a rest. It's a bit of a shame because I've already rested within the last... I mean, I'm hours and hours away from my next rest stop. But it is better that than driving aimlessly, using up all my fuel and getting nowhere fast. Right, very quickly before I rest, give it a very quick look again. I don't think I'm going to get anything better. Oh, Grimsby's new, I think. Ah! No, that's new because I'm not actually listing the GB. Okay. Resting it is. Now, if this hasn't worked, I have no idea what I'm going to do. Ah, Paris. That currently is looking good. Little wrong sort of direction, really. I'm heading down here, so Paris is at least in the right sort of direction. Dover. Right, Paris it is. Have I got more than one for Paris? 16 tons. What's for Lille? Okay, got a 16 tonner destined for Paris. Let's go for that. Right, I'm going to have to really get a wriggle on now. Aiming for Wednesday at 6:55 latest to arrive in Istanbul, and this setback has put me so far behind. It's looking extremely unlikely now. Edge forward so I can see that light. Ooh. There we go. It's good. It's as if the traffic lights know I'm trying to race. And I'm so far behind. I reckon every red light that's possible between now and when I get to Brest, or even when I get to Istanbul, I reckon every single one's going to be red. Right. And we'll go. can feel the weight difference. So sluggish now. Right, so I've got 3 hours 20 minutes to get to Paris. Just rested, so I know that's not going to be a problem. I've no idea how long it's going to take me to get all the way to Brest, even if I were to go straight there. But let's face it, I'm looking at being about 3 days behind, which is pretty much half of my time. If I can make that back, be amazed. That was close. Was going to make a comment on the AI traffic there for a minute, but in reality, actually, I think that's pretty accurate. When you get a large vehicle, you just know that there's going to be a car that will just place themselves a little bit too far forward when you're trying to get around. But then, when you're a car driver, why would you know any better? If you've never driven something so large, why should you know how much room they need to get round corners? Right. So, we're well on our way again. Just hoping that this isn't going to... In fact, I know Calais is due an update at some point soon, so I'm glad to be out of Calais at least, because if that gets updated, that'll chuck me right back at Aberdeen again. Just hope that nowhere else that I'm stopping at is going to get an update. Paris gets an update, and I'm stopped there, for example. When I log out of this live stream, I am done for. Yeah, I said it before, I'll say it again, this game holds up extremely well, considering how old it is. Right, so the thing I fear about my travels through France, especially now that I've got to go one way than the other, is the sheer amount of toll booths France holds. Now, I believe it's because their road tax system essentially says you don't pay road tax, you just pay for the road you use, and then you pay tolls to go wherever you go. Which actually isn't a bad system if you think about it, but it does mean in reality you can spend a fortune getting across France. And in game as well, actually. Now the money doesn't matter because it's a race against time. I'm not counting tolls against my time. Where it's going to matter is that I'm going to have to slow and stop at all of these tolls and then start, and it might not seem like it's a lot of time, but every time I slow down it's going to eat into time one way or another. And that just isn't good for what I'm trying to do. It's like telling a race driver that they're going to have to take their corners at half the speed they usually do. They're still moving, they're still sort of on the way to where they're trying to go, but because they've slowed down so much, they're eating seconds off of that race time. And every second counts. Well, every second counts here too. My first hole. Now I came around the M25 to get here. And on my journeys around the M25, I would, if it was modelled, have come across the Dartford crossing. It's not modelled, and neither is the toll, so I got away with that one. Right. My first hole. Sorted. Still doing okay for fuel, got half a tank left, so probably not worth filling that up yet. What I might do is refuel potentially after this trip though. I mean, I could make it even more difficult for myself and say that every checkpoint has to be done on one tank, but however doable I reckon that would be, I think adding more rules in is just a bit of a pointless exercise. I don't know, what do you think? I'll refrain from refueling this time. Let me know in the chat or in the comments once this live stream's finished on YouTube. And let me know what you think. Should I add that in as a rule, or should I leave it as it is? Should I have to stay on one tank of fuel per checkpoint? Now, I think that we are probably in one of the least interesting segments of this journey, because it is just going to be motorway. Or whatever the French name for it is. I don't know what the French name is for motorway. They must have a name for it. Be interesting to find out. I mean, Britain was almost like that. Hang on. Okay, here is another rule of mine. When the road gets blocked, I must go round. Which is not good. And the sat-nav's going to take me back the way I came. I'm going to have to plot this out. So I'm currently here. I was trying to get across. I can't. Okay, it is going to take me around by the look of it. Nicely. Okay, that's not so bad then. I can live with that. Still further than I wanted to go. It's added way too much time on, and we all know I'm already pushed for that. But I'm not actually feeling all that optimistic about this challenge now. But as I said before, we'll go with Doing the whole journey within a week is first place. If I have to adjust that to another time, then, you know, we'll change that to second place and then possibly third place. Although I think we'll aim for second place, which might be 2 weeks maybe. We'll gauge it. We'll see how far I've got by the time it comes. A week comes. I mean, you never know. We might suddenly just whiz along, but I very much doubt that. I think a week was a bit too optimistic. In fact, what I'll probably do is if I write all of the rules down, I'll post them up on my Discord server, and then you can all go and have a look on there and try to challenge out for yourselves. Can it be done in a week? That's what I want to know. Is it just bad luck that's caused this not to work? Because it's very easy to end up just being sent in the wrong direction. I don't think it is just bad luck though. I think it is genuinely just not doable. Right, so I've come a long way out my way. It looks like I'm now heading sort of back toward the direction I should be going. Just a pain in the neck. As well as other body parts. Oh, this is really tight down here, isn't it? I've never come across an area like this in the game before. You think the amount of money it must cost to run all these toll booths, surely it would make more sense for the French government to implement just a taxation scheme like we have in Britain. Of course, historically, that's how it was done in Britain. You had to pay tolls pretty much wherever you went. There's plenty of toll houses. In fact, there's actually one just down the road from me. In a bit of a strange place, like, considering, but maybe it wasn't at the time. Just at a railway bridge. And there's an old toll house at one end. Not that you would know it's a toll house these days. Oh, look at this. I am not disappointed we came this way now. Look at it. No, this was actually well worth the detour, even though I'm having to now spend a bit more time doing it. I think it was actually worth it just for that bridge. And look, there's a toll booth coming up. So you pay, you go over the bridge, and then you pay again. So you pay twice just to cross the bridge. Makes perfect sense, really. Ah, but you don't, because it's a separate road. Let's pay another toll. There we go. Why not? I've got the time to kill. Stop in to do that. I've never actually tried, and I'm not going to because I have a feeling it's either not going to work or it's going to find me, but I've always wondered what would happen if you just ploughed through the gates. I might actually attempt it. I'll record it as well, put it on YouTube, but after this live stream I'll go and have a look at that and see what happens. If, of course, I have time to do that after this live stream. Might be a couple of days' time. Just thinking about it, I've actually got to travel to a toll booth, and then I've got to plough through it, so it's not necessarily going to be the quickest video to film. But we'll give it a go. I'll have a look. Don't you dare. Seems to take a minute there for the gears to catch. Oh, look what I can see on the map. Another toll. So, how many is that now? 3 already? I think this is the 4th one. I don't know, I'm going to have to go through afterwards and count them, I think. It'd be good to know. I can even, I don't know why, I just like the idea of having some statistics. How many toll booths, how many fines. How many cargo runs even, would be quite a good one. Now I learnt my lesson last episode that if I completely plough it around these corners, I topple the lorry over. Don't want to be doing that. Luckily a crash barrier kept me up last time, but not necessarily going to happen if I do it again, so let's try and avoid taking these corners too quickly. Okay, so it looks like I have a cargo drop on the outskirts of the city rather than within it. That's okay, as long as my next one comes from Paris. So Paris discovered, so as long as my next bit of freight comes from Paris, we're all good. I've not broken any rules. It's listed in the directory as from Paris, we can take it. I know, it does look city centre-ish, doesn't it? Who knows, we'll see. They really do just pull out, don't they? Oh, good grief, where are they going to want me to drop this? You're kidding. Okay. Let's see how this goes then, I guess. No. Let's go to about there. There we go. No, that wasn't even where well, I could have probably done that if I'd have taken a steeper angle with the trailer, maybe. Let's take a nice steep approach. It's going miles out of where it needs to be, isn't it? That says it's okay, I will. That is not okay. Doing so well here. So yeah, reversing tutorial. It's a planned video. Honest. Check out my YouTube for that. That will be coming sometime soon, and hopefully I'll teach you how to do it with much better proficiency than my own self. Right. Let's have a quick look in here. Freight market. We're on Paris. Dover, Lille, Calais, no good. Reims, ooh, not really any good. Le Mans, 20 ton. Probably Le Mans is the best bet there. But it's 20 tons. This truck is not going to like it one bit. Well, we'll set that up. Hopefully that will stay on there for when I come to it. But for now, I think that will conclude episode 3 of Race Across the World. Thank you ever so much for watching. If you are on YouTube, then please give us a like and consider subscribing for more simulation content. And if you are on Twitch, then I'd really appreciate your follow. It just really helps me out, it helps the channel grow, and it helps me just keep motivated and keep doing what I'm doing. This is all about you as a community, it's not all about me. So equally, please, if you've got any suggestions of content you'd like to see from me, then let me know either in the comment box on YouTube or on my Discord server, which I believe is linked to my Twitch account. I will double check that in a moment. And will be linked in the YouTube description once this live stream has concluded. Okay, again, thanks for watching.